we will see more and more sophisticated ways of scams going forward, which are supported by AI, which are supported by deep fake videos and so on. And I think that we all, as an industry, are not very well prepared for all of that.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our interview with Sebastian Gierlinger. Sebastian is a VP of Engineering at Storyblok, which is one of the top content management systems and platforms. So, Sebastian, welcome to our Risk Management Show podcast today.
Thank you for the invitation. Hello.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. So, Sebastian, I believe that we will have a thoughtful conversation on the topic of balancing information, innovation, and security with some AI-relevant topics. But before that, could you tell us a short story about yourself, your career path, and what brought you to where you are right now, and maybe what you guys at Storyblok up to these days?
Yeah. So I am a VP of Engineering here at Storyblok. My background is in information security. So I studied 8 years in university, secure information systems. But afterwards, I was drawn into the whole startup ecosystem. And yeah, I've been to multiple startups in the meantime. And now I'm here at Storyblok, where we build a headless content management system. In my role, most of the engineering teams report to me. So we are overlooking our public-facing assets like the website, like what our DevRel is doing, and so on. We are working with the product management and product engineering, and we are also monitoring support and our solution engineering. So these are the different parts that are working in my vicinity, I would say.
Fantastic. So let's discuss.
One more thing. So Storyblok itself is a headless content management system. So that means that we are only providing the backend, the editing functionality, a storage for your content, and the APIs as abstraction layer. Anything that you would like to build as your front end, so for example, a website, a mobile application, an app, is up to you. So it's not the traditional content management system that you know from times like WordPress, Sitecore, and so on, where everything comes out of one thing. We have it separated. So we have this one thing that is your content management. Using APIs, you can use this content then anywhere you like. So you build your own front end, no matter what it is. We have customers building catalogs, for example, from it. We have people who use it for mobile applications. And of course, the majority is using a content management system for a website.
All right. So now we can go deep into the topic.
Yes.
So how do you define the balance between innovation and security in today's rapidly evolving tech landscape? And what are the key factors to consider when trying to achieve this balance?
That's a very far-reaching question, I would say.
Yeah, it's more like a general question.
So in general, we try to not hinder innovation with security, because often security comes with, have you thought about that? Have you implemented that? Have you done this and that? So what we are trying to do is let innovation run and do proof of concepts, put together what you need, and all of that is not connected to the main production entity. So as soon before it's going to the main production entity, we put all of the security topics in place. So it's starting with automated scans. If all the dependencies are up to date, it starts with a test if there is not any cross-site scripting built into it now. It starts with coming up with scenarios how this new feature could be exploited. And only if these checks are passed, we will add it to our main product and put it into production and also in front of customers. So I would say when it comes to combining security and innovation, first build something in isolation, and then when it's going into production, put on the necessary measures to check all the other things. Storyblok has been certified to follow ISO 27001 for 3 years now. And we also need, and like every other company that is ISO certified, is needs to follow certain rules and safeguards, I would say. And I think you can't, there are not many ways how you can provide that otherwise, in my opinion.
Mhm. So let's discuss, for example, as businesses innovate, what are some of the most significant security risks that they face? I know that we have a lot of securities like phishing and other stuff, but how can this risk be managed without stifling the creativity? Because a lot of people are afraid to put it in a more kind of very engaging way without knowing what is how is security involved.
I would say the security risks that come from phishing and so on are not really that high in terms of innovation. I think with innovation you have the problem of making sure that the new feature that you built is not opening up another hole somewhere, that you are not using or introducing new attack vectors in your landscape. Um, you can avoid a lot of that by already from the beginning making sure that you are building on the same infrastructure. So when you, for example, build on Google Cloud Platform or AWS, you already have a few security measures in place. And if you build on the same platform your new innovation, you can also make sure to apply these security measures into your new project. If you start innovating on separate platforms, on maybe even self-hosted servers, then you suddenly have somewhere a new system that you need to start manage again. And these are the things where I think that most of the problems come from when it comes to that. It's very rare that we say no, you can't build that because it's insecure. It's most of the time, hey, you are running that on a server that is on a system that we are not managing, and now you would like to include that into our production environment. So we need to check the server that you are running it on. We need to make sure that there are backups in place, that there is a failover in place, that everything is keeping up to the performance that we want. And if you stay within the parameters that are already there, it's much easier to get all of that going.
Mhm. And when implementing the new technologies like AI, for what is now the 2 years, we have
Yeah.
specifically talking about how these companies have can ensure they
Yeah.
don't sacrifice security for the sake of efficiency.
I think with AI, you have to look at two dimensions. So the first dimension is, do I offer AI tools and co-pilots or something like that to our developers? And I can tell you from experience, if you don't offer it, they will get it somewhere else. So
Mhm.
it's not a choice for the company if we want it or don't want it. It's what are the parameters that I want to set. And I would highly recommend everyone to come up with a proper AI policy for the company, publish that, and make sure that everyone knows what is allowed and not allowed within the company. That's one thing. And when it then comes, for example, to developer tools, choose the developer tool that you feel most comfortable with and provide it to all developers. And they will be happy to use it, in my opinion. then by saying choose the one that you are happy with, that also means if you have the requirement that, for example, your source code should not be used for training the model, then you need to choose a tool that lets you either opt out or does not train on your data. Same for when you have, for example, concerns about intellectual property. So that the AI model is maybe using in the background intellectual property that you don't want to use, or where you are quite certain that you don't have a license for it. So make sure that all of that is being covered, and there are plenty of providers out there that can accommodate all of these needs. So this would be the first thing. The other thing when it comes to AI is providing it to customers. And here again, you need to figure out the needs of your customers and also the requirements that they're having. They will have similar requirements to you, so they don't want to provide data to the model to be trained on. They maybe have restrictions on what intellectual property they can use. So maybe they don't want to have any open source stuff in the training data of the model. So you need to somehow figure out what can you offer to your customers to make sure that they are getting what they want. And beyond that, from my very personal perspective, AI is another API that you provide that accomplishes some tasks for you. And yeah, in the past, we have pressed buttons and input some parameters and got out, I would say, very deterministic result. Now we put in a prompt and get out a less deterministic result. So you can't foresee what the output will be, but it's still a input and output thing. So it's not big magic. It's another API or another interface that you're using for getting something accomplished.
All right, that's a good definition. I never thought about this kind of make it simpler. It's kind of black box for us. Eh? Just do input and then you get output. But
Indeed, it is not doing much more than that.
yeah, but it's kind of defines if I kind of refine my input, I can get better output. So it's
Yes.
like in life, right?
Yeah. Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Sebastian, I would like to ask you a personal point of view. What is the major misconception in the world you working in for security and for this
Oof.
CMS platforms that you kind of don't strongly disagree with?
Oh, that's a good question. So I have a few pet peeves, I would say. So one is I still don't get why we are running through certifications and then send out security questionnaires over and over again. So it should, in my opinion, be okay to be certified according to some standard. And I don't mind what standard it is, but if someone is certified according to a standard, there is zero need to send afterwards a security questionnaire with 100 questions asking you the same things over and over again. That's, yeah, simply not needed from my perspective. When it comes to content management, I think that we are overcomplicating things on the front end quite a lot. So we come up with new frameworks, and yes, I see where these frameworks are coming from, but I don't always agree that we need to have a full framework to build one block. So that you can accomplish that much easier, and sometimes it would be nice to do things in a less complicated way, which would also help with security topics, because a lot of our security topics today come from the complexity of our infrastructure and our systems. So if I need a server which is redundant with two servers, on top of that, need a Kubernetes cluster to run one container or two containers that serve my website, I have completely over-engineered that, and I have, I don't know, 50 different services that I need to keep up to date to not be vulnerable to some new vulnerabilities that are out there. And sometimes it's really just, yeah, as simple as open an AWS account, use S3 without any underlying services, and put your website there, and everything would be much, much easier.
Yeah, yeah. As I myself, I was when I was creating this our company, it was about 15 years ago.
Mhm.
I choose a very simplistic platform which involves everything like front end, back end, and hosting that I don't have to think about. Now with your platform, I have to think about two different platforms, front end and back end, and so it's kind of for small entrepreneur, it might be a little bit difficult, but I understand that for kind of higher advanced companies, it's a better solution.
Yeah. What I can add to that is we take away the worries about the backend, so it's all run for you because Storyblok is a hosted service and you only need to do the front end. But
Mhm.
yeah, in general, I think that we are just overcomplicating a lot of things. And yeah, everything becomes very, very complex, and suddenly we have security requirements that are hard to meet. And yeah, and we shoot ourselves in the foot a little bit with a lot of complexity.
Yeah. So let's drill a little bit deeper. For example, because our members are mostly risk and compliance
Mhm.
professionals. Uh, uh, what there is one thing that they should start to prioritize right now that they're not doing. What would that be?
That's a good question.
Yes.
What would I prioritize if I don't do it? So I think that we are, and that comes back to the AI topic, that we will see more and more sophisticated ways of scams going forward, which are supported by AI, which are supported by deep fake videos, and so on. And I think that we all, as an industry, are not very well prepared for all of that. So I see it in our case, we are doing a regular phishing training and so on, but I would not bet a lot on being able to detect a really targeted um, deep fake attack immediately. So I think that there are some people who are super, super cautious that will see it and detect it, but I guess that many people won't. And I think making everyone aware of that risk and be louder about it is something that I think that everyone can do right now and should do right now.
Mhm. All right. So let's summarize our interview for someone who is listening to it and would like to walk away with one or two major takeaways. What would it be?
My major takeaways, innovation should not be hindered by security, and we should try to make everything possible as long as it is not touching any customer data or any production systems. I think everyone should have a proper AI policy and regulate internally what can be done and what can't be done. Also, get your priorities right and figure out for yourself what is important for you in terms of AI. Are you concerned about training data? Are you concerned about intellectual property? To what degree, and so on? And the last part is probably when it comes to AI, also watch out for threats that come from that. And yeah, as I said, deepfake is something that exists for 2 years now, for 3 years now, and people are really using it. And I would be, we should all be much louder about it.
Mhm. Fantastic. That's were all my questions. Perhaps if I forgot to ask you something that you will think is important to our audience, please go ahead.
I think we have covered almost
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
All right. So then, Sebastian, thank you again for this interview, and I wish you and your company Storyblok a great success, and I hope we will cooperate in the future.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation, and yeah, hopefully see you soon again.
Thank you.